Good morning, I'm Nate Puderbaugh with your sports update. Last night in Toronto, it was Game 2 of the World Series. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched his second straight complete game in the postseason, leading the Dodgers to a 5-1 victory, becoming the first pitcher to accomplish that feat since Curt Schilling in 2001. He retired the final 20 batters he faced. The CBJ were on the road last night at Pittsburgh, and they came home with a 5-4 shootout win. Dmitry Voronkov led the way with 2 goals in the victory, giving the Jackets their second win in Pittsburgh in the last 18 tries. In the NFL today, the Browns are on the road taking on the New England Patriots at 1, and Joe Flacco and the Bengals host the winless Jets also in the 1 o'clock slot. And in college football, notable games saw number 3 Texas A&M blow out LSU, Alabama survived South Carolina, Indiana beating down UCLA, and Texas rallying to knock off Mississippi State but losing Arch Manning in the process. Breaking sports news when it happens at the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scottie Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scottie Vegas, producer Nate Puderbaugh at the controls. Tell you what, Scottie, so I was playing poker last night, and then I walked away. I lost a lot of money. I was thinking, it kind of hit me. It felt like it was rigged.
Did you have those X-ray contacts so you could see what everybody's cards were?
I didn't have them. Now, I think in retrospect, I think they had them. I'm joking. I was not participating. I don't think I was participating in a rigged poker tournament led by the Mafia last
what
night.
a week.
What a crazy week. And the fact that they did those two things together, like Terry Rozier is all about, going the unders improperly, telling other people and probably himself, he's making money obviously too, that he's going to check himself out of the game, so bet heavily on the unders. The NBA cleared him last year. FBI came in and said, nope, we're not clearing you, we have new information. And at the same time, Chauncey Billups busted for this. Now I'm very curious, was Chauncey Billups one of the masterminds of this? Did he get caught up in it? As I was joking with you and Ryan, 2 of my favorite things in the world are colliding here. Sports gaming, including poker. I like these things. Sports betting and mob documentaries. I cannot wait for the documentary on this whole thing. This is and we've seen other gambling, I don't know, crises, so
a lot
to
of
speak.
them.
Yeah,
yes.
This is definitely the worst.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Dave, we're getting to a point where these stories are almost coming out every month, right?
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where it's another story of corruption, and then a month later, here's a new one, and it just keeps topping the previous one each time, right? And sadly, it's not going to go away. I really believe that this is just going to kind of continue. And so it's what is the next steps with sports gambling? And we know here in the state of Ohio that they have done away with prop bets on college athletes, right? So in Ohio, we cannot bet on Ohio State players to score a touchdown or amount of yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, that kind of stuff. Or March Madness, we can't bet on individual players, how many points they're going to score over under. That's gone. And it kind of feels sadly, with how this is going, that we're going to start seeing less and less potential prop bets out there that we're able to make because of these idiots who are ruining the system here. And I get it, because these guys are sitting there and they're looking at these leagues and they're like, gosh, the NBA or the NFL or whoever is making so much money off the sports gambling that, hey, where's our piece of the pie, right? And so there's ways that they can manipulate stats. And unfortunately, this is getting to be a process that's happening so often. And the thing that surprises me most about it, Dave, is the big names that are involved in it. I can kind of understand at a lower level, let's say you're a tennis player who's trying to make it on tour, right? You're a challenger player or you're ranked 150th in the world in tennis, and you're not making a crazy amount of money. You're grinding in your sport, and you see that there's betting odds available on your sport. And you might have that urge, right? I get it at a little bit more at that level, but we're talking about guys that are making millions. We're talking about Chauncey Billups, who's won NBA championships, right? And he's involved in this.
A sitting head coach who was an NBA champion, as you said, as a player.
It's crazy.
And I believe he was Finals MVP with the Pistons.
Yeah,
I think he was Finals MVP, Mr. Big Shot.
It's crazy.
It really is, and I think you're right about prop bets. And I want to talk more about that. It's also interesting. It's spanning every sport pretty much. Think about the 2 pitchers for the Guardians.
Yep.
And that was pretty obvious. And you almost, those guys, you almost could say, well, I'm not really throwing the game. Like, it's just first pitch is going to be a ball. What's the problem with that? I'm going to come back and get the guy out. I'm not throwing the game.
Yeah.
And you can convince yourself of that. So I do think a lot of these first pitch of the inning, ball strike, that's going to go away. The stuff with the NBA, I think we're going to see certain prop bets. Maybe not all of them. I've even heard people say, how about just do away with unders? Just have overs. It's like, oh, okay. I do think they're going to do something. I do find it interesting. Who was the first commissioner? It was about 10 years ago, roughly. Who was the first commissioner of all the major sports to come out, and saying we actually should do legalized gambling? It was Adam Silver, right? So he's having to backtrack big time. But he did come out and say he does think they're going to limit prop bets. He thinks they should. So when you now have Adam Silver doing almost a 180 on that, he's not saying you shouldn't have legalized sports gambling at all. But when he's coming out saying, we need to do away with some of these prop bets. I don't think they're all going to go away in pro sports, Scott, but I would be shocked if there's not going to be like a big dent in prop bets in pro sports.
Well, and guys, in the same week, the NCAA has announced that their athletes and staff members are allowed to bet on pro sports. Like, they were prohibited to do it. Now it comes out that the NCAA is allowing it. And actually, on Friday, I was hosting Man and Timmy, and we had Jake Diebler on. And I asked him specifically about this. How do you handle the gambling? And now that staff members and players are able to do it, let's listen to what he said.
Yeah, college basketball, and I know the college landscape in general, but it seems like it's always college basketball that's even, more uncertainty than most every other sport. And it's a weird time right now. You look at the way teams are compiling rosters and all the different avenues that players are coming from. It's very different than even it was, 3 years ago. And so we want to always be cutting edge, certainly, and we want to be at the forefront. I think it's important in today's NIL landscape to be able to have multiple kind of buckets to recruit from. We've certainly added some more international players this year. Felt like that was a pathway we needed to go to there in the spring. And then as far as the gambling goes, it's a constant education. We have great resources at Ohio State. There's consistent education throughout the season, but we've had to, do that even more frequently than maybe in the past because the rules just seem to keep changing right in front of our eyes.
It seems insane that they're going to allow NCAA athletes to bet on pro sports while they're actively playing.
Hear the Timmy Hall there.
Yeah.
I was like, who is that? I was like, I recognize that voice. That's my fellow Hilliard resident, Timmy Hall. Yeah, I think Diebler nailed it, and it does help mitigate it a little bit, in my opinion, that NIL is here in full force for these kids.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're like, look at this nonsense. They're bringing in billions of dollars. I'm getting like a scholarship to school, which I always said, let's not just say a scholarship to school is nothing. They can be $100,000 in today's age, but like they definitely deserved a piece of the pie, and they're getting that now. And I think it won't eliminate it. You're going to have kids doing things they shouldn't be doing, I'm sure. But I think Ohio was wise, even though you and I were not happy about it at first, that they did away with prop bets in college sports. I think that was a wise move. But I do think these kids having that NIL money, I think, will steer them away from that in most cases.
Yeah, well, and we talk about these players and the urges, and we're talking about these scandals, these recent scandals, are guys in the NBA who've made millions. What if you are a college athlete that doesn't have a big NIL deal, right? And let's say your family's struggling and you need to make a little bit of money, and this is a way to do it for some people. And, it's unfortunate, hate it. I will say, when we've had Noah Kirk in, who is the sportsbook manager at Hollywood Casino Columbus, we've asked him, what's the future of sports gambling look like? And he has said that really micro betting is kind of the future of the industry. And what that means is like the instant bets where the payouts are right away, right? So
like first pitch of the inning is going to be a ball or a strike.
Yes. Like the ones that are it's almost like you kind of like I compare it to a roulette, right? Where you spin the wheel and you have the action, win or lose, right away. And that's what people are wanting and doing in sports betting, is they're going with the quicker payouts versus taking spreads of games, versus taking futures. Like futures sometimes take months and months, like your Reds one earlier this year to pay out. But people are liking those ones that you have that instant, okay, what's going to happen on this drive? Is it going to be a field goal, a touchdown, a turnover? And people want that bet to win or lose right away. And that's the future of the industry. And with it going that way, it just brings back more and more of these prop bet questions.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It might not be going that way now. I'm sure Noah's not very happy about this situation. It's like anything else in life, right? The few bad apples ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
That's well said, right? I mean, but we're starting to see there's a lot of bad apples because even the Shohei, remember, we forget about this because this was a while back. But and we think about. Yeah, and we think about the Alabama baseball coach.
Oh, my gosh, that happened at Great American Ballpark, too. He told his guy, the Alabama baseball coach, pulled his really good starting pitcher, didn't tell anybody, had his buddy who was at Great American Ballpark place a crazy bet. They were playing LSU, I believe, Alabama was. How do you think you're not going to get caught doing something like that? Unbelievable. And I did say earlier this is the worst. I think I maybe was a prisoner of the moment. The more I think about it, Donaghy's got to be the worst.
Yeah.
Donaghy,
where you have a ref,
right? Who's and it wasn't like 2 games or something. Like it was like he was doing it like in the NBA Finals. He was doing it I think there were dozens of games that he affected. And think about all the things we don't know. Think about, you have Jonte Porter, I didn't even know was a thing. I didn't even know he existed in this world. He came from the G League. All of a sudden, again, how do you think that's not going to get caught? You're pulling yourself out of a game. You're somebody nobody's heard of, and there's all these thousands of dollars of bets on your props. But you're right, we're seeing it in pretty much every sport. And I definitely think prop bets are going to be going away pretty soon. All right, up next, we're going to talk some college football. This is On the Money.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey Sports Cards fans, I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 5-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear breaks, where collectors win big.
Timmy Hall and AI Common Man here for Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
This ain't one of them, Timmy.
It's not the show, it's a spot. All October, we're watching our football team on Saturdays and the tailgate buffet.
Ooh, Mikey likey. Plus, they've got the 3 apps for $12 deal, and you can beat the crowds and reserve a table.
Yes, do that at HollywoodColumbus.com, and we got a special offer this month. Become a new member of our rewards program on the ESPN Penn Play app and get a $20 dining credit.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai, lease a new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE for just $189 a month. You heard it, $189. Plus get owner assurance and America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Only at Great Lakes Hyundai, Columbus or Dublin, or GLakesHyundai.com.
GLakesHyundai.com.
With approved credit, $39.95 down plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10 miles per year, ends 11/3.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment?
On any 4-tire purchase.
And Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save big on select varieties of Kroger brand cheese. 6 to 8 ounce packs are only $1.79 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
At Logan Services, we're more than heating and air. We're a family-owned business that puts people first. For decades, we've built our reputation on honesty, hard work, and treating your home like it's our own. From the first phone call to the final handshake, you'll work with a caring, local team that shows up on time and does the job right. Because comfort isn't about temperature, it's about integrity. Logan Services, family-owned, people-focused, and proud to serve its customers.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up, you get early payout on parlays too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're a sports card fan like me, you've got to check out Midwest Cards in the Arena District, right outside Nationwide Arena. These guys are true collectors themselves, and they've built a shop that lets you experience card collecting in a whole new way. They've got sealed boxes, packs, single cards, signed memorabilia, and plenty of TVs in their lounge. Yeah, they have a lounge. And don't forget the card bar, where you can open packs while you have an adult beverage. It's awesome. Stop by Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
It's Monday Night Football on The Fan. Catch the Commanders and Chiefs live from Arrowhead. Fan coverage starts Monday at 8.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Your radio home of the NFL, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies are expected here for your Sunday as temperatures warm up into the lower 60s here for this afternoon. Winds will be fairly light at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head into the work week, we're tracking more sunshine here for your Monday with highs in the low 60s. But our next weather maker will bring clouds on Tuesday, and then rain arrives here for Wednesday and Thursday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. D. Biddle places over-unders on how many traffic lights he hits coming into the studio. This is On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
It is On the Money. We appreciate you joining us on this awesome Sunday morning. All right, it is Ohio State Penn State week. We thought this was going to be an enormous week at the beginning of the year. In fact, Ohio State in the look-ahead line for this game during the offseason was a 3.5-point favorite over Penn State. That was during the offseason.
You think it's changed?
I think it's adjusted a little bit.
2.5?
I know the number. You do not.
I do not.
You have not seen what the betting line for Ohio State Penn State is. So before we start handicapping the game, I want you to take a guess. What do you think the Ohio State Penn State line is?
Penn State has been a huge disappointment this year, obviously. Nobody thought James Franklin would be fired before the Ohio State game. This is crazy. They started the year off number 2 in the country, and I did my own little Big Ten power rankings this past week. I had them 13th in the Big Ten. I thought I might be being kind of kind to them. They did play really well against Iowa, who's turned out to be a good team. Only lost that game by 1, almost won it. That being said, Ohio State 25.5.
Okay, it's Ohio State 20. Ohio State is a 20-point favorite. And it's funny because I told Ryan on the during the call-in show last hour, I said that's too low. And here's my handicapping of the game. I don't believe that Penn State gets to double digits as far as points, right? So I think that maybe they get 7. right? But I think Ohio State, thinking about what score they're going to put up, and I think there's going to be a crazy amount of motivation to put up a lot of points on Jim Knowles. But I would be surprised if Ohio State is held under 28 points. So I think, for me, I think they'll probably get to about 35.
Yeah.
And I just don't see any way that Penn State gets to double digits. And so when you put that together and the line is only 20, it doesn't make sense to me. I think the line should be closer to what you said, about 25, 27, somewhere in that line. Because I'd be surprised if Ohio State doesn't win this game something like 35-7.
Then you're
in
covering
that
with
territory.
ease. Yeah. I mean, it even gives you wiggle room there. Yeah, I won't be surprised if that ticks up, and maybe more than ticks up. I don't think it'll get as high as what I just said, since I was off by 5.5 points. But yeah, I think that will tick up. Yeah, I mean, probably a combination of factors. There, Penn State's name recognition, despite what's going on this year. Penn State, they have that the name recognition, and they did play well their previous games. You might be thinking, well, yeah, but that seems like way too low for a team that's going to be very limited. Great opportunity for the local kid from Olentangy, Ethan Grunkemeyer. But, he threw for under 100 yards against Iowa. He didn't play terrible, but he didn't look good. Definitely, he's probably not ready for this role as a redshirt freshman, but good for him to get this opportunity to come back to his hometown and play the Buckeyes. But you're right, there's going to be tons of motivation for Ohio State to make Jim Knowles look bad.
And I see, there's a lot of people that look at that line and say 20 points, that's outrageous. I just think you got to break it down. I don't see Penn State getting to double digits. I really don't, point wise, and I don't think Penn State can hold Ohio State under 28. So to me, that's how I get to Ohio State covering this game relatively easily. All right, let's update the national championship odds. We, of course, do our betting at Hollywood Casino Columbus and use the ESPN Bet app. Ohio State is plus 225 now to win the national championship. If you're trying to think of how does that equate percentage-wise to what's the percentage chance Ohio State wins it all, it's plus 225 equates to about 35% chance as far as the odds go for Ohio State to win it all. Indiana is 6-1. They are now second, Dave, in the betting odds after destroying UCLA by 50 points yesterday. Then you've got Alabama 8-1, Texas A&M, big win last night over LSU. They are 10-1.
Bama escaped South Carolina.
That's right. And Notre Dame and Oregon are both 11-1. So what stands out to you when I read off those betting odds?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Notre Dame all the way up there because they, early on it looked like, are they going to be out? Now they have the sixth best odds to win the national championship at 11-1. Yeah, Oregon, I was thinking that, there might be some value on Oregon, but they were a little shaky yesterday at home against Wisconsin, 21-7 against that Wisconsin team, like in Eugene. They look pedestrian in that game. I tell you what, man, Texas A&M looks legit to me. They look legit. I think Mike Elko was, for years, they had the joke, it was Texas 8-4. Which I think is hilarious. Texas, especially when it's written out, it looks hilarious. Texas 8-4. Not this year, man. Elko was a really good hire by Ross Bjork, no less. And they've got a really good quarterback in Marcel Reed. Ohio State plus 225. That's crazy to see it that low, but it does make sense, like you said, about a 35% chance. Let's look at the Heisman odds now. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. Fernando Mendoza continues to be, the betting favorite at 3-1. Now, what about a week after we were saying, no, more than a week. It was the pregame before Wisconsin. We were saying 14-1 for Julian Sand is great odds. He's going to get his name more in the discussion. Bam. Second best odds, Julian Sand, tied with Ty Simpson at 4-1. So Mendoza 3-1, Julian Sand and Ty Simpson 4-1. And Ty Simpson, even though they won by 50, Mendoza I don't think helped his case that much yesterday. He threw an interception. His quarterback rating wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. Not a lot of yards per attempt. So when you look at the advanced stats, it kind of hurt him a little bit. I think there's a really good chance Sand's going to win this. Marcel Reed's another one, man. Marcel Reed 7-1, along with Diego at 7-1. Marcel Reed had a huge game yesterday. I'm surprised his odds are not a little bit closer to Sands.
So we've talked about this after last week. We said, just think about that game in Indianapolis, potentially at the end of the year in the Big Ten championship, where you've got Ohio State, Indiana. We think that both teams will be undefeated in that Big Ten championship game. If that is the case and everything's on the line, you're going to have the 1 seed, the number 1 ranking, on the line in that game in Indy. And you're also probably potentially going to have the Heisman Trophy on the line.
That's true.
That's how big that Big Ten championship game is. And the funny thing is, I was talking to a lot of people, and they're like, oh, Big Ten championship game, how much does it really mean? Because, with this huge playoff, both teams will obviously still get in. There's a good chance the loser of the Big Ten championship game will either be number 2 or number 3 in the country.
Definitely.
And so it doesn't really matter too much as far as the how the bracket would break down, whether you're the 2 seed or the 3 seed. But there's a big difference in my mind in being the 1 seed versus being the 2 or 3, because I think, Dave, and I know you brought up A&M being a team that you think is actually pretty good. I think there's 3 teams right now that have a legit shot to win it all: Ohio State, Indiana, and Alabama. That to me is the 3. And so getting that 1 seed and not having to play the 3 would be a big deal.
Man, I watched that entire Alabama game yesterday.
And you're not impressed. I get it.
They were this close to losing to South. They were down by 8 with they had this. They finally had a ball control drive because South Carolina was just dominating time of possession, and it worked out for them. But I was thinking, look at Alabama. What a weird time to go on a time-consuming drive when it's the 4th quarter and you're down 8.
Yeah.
Now it worked out. They scored a touchdown. They got the 2-point conversion. Then they won the game in overtime. But still, I was like, geez, I don't know if I'm really buying Alabama's on Ohio State's level or even Indiana's. Even Indiana's. I know
Thank you for backing me up, Dave.
That is crazy to say that, but I just watched that whole game. I'm like, if Ohio State played Alabama, I'd go into that. Now, anything can happen. I would go into that very confident. Very confident. I think Ohio State's better on both sides of the ball. Indiana looks really good. Again, UCLA, that was, it was almost fool's gold. They had that little, coaching bump. Nobody had film on the, what they were going to do with Rick Neuheisel's son being Jerry Neuheisel being the offensive coordinator. They had that nice little 3-game run, but still, Indiana, man, they're physical. They're not just they're a cute team that does throws the ball around. No, they've got a physical offensive line. They've got a super physical defense. I think those are clearly the 2 best teams in the nation. I think A&M. I'm very curious to see if A&M and Alabama play in the SEC championship game, because I would favor A&M in that game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're that down on Alabama because of yesterday's game. Because last week we sat here and we both had Alabama as number 2. And here's my thing about Alabama. That, to me, looking at the situation of that game yesterday, where the game was on the road. It was at South Carolina, right? And that was the Super Bowl for South Carolina. South Carolina's season is really done. That was the one thing that was really circled. And the other thing is Alabama was just coming off the fact that they had played 4 ranked teams in a row and won those games, won 4 in a row. I thought Alabama finding a way to get it done yesterday said more to me than the fact that it was a close struggle of a game.
LSU, and you're right, that was a great crowd at South Carolina yesterday. LSU, the other Death Valley, Clemson has their Death Valley and LSU has their Death Valley. That's one of the toughest places to play in the country.
Doubt.
Texas A&M went in there and just handed them their bleep.
Yeah.
I mean, they destroyed them. I mean, the final score almost doesn't even do it justice. It was 48-25, I believe I have that right, 48-25. That's after LSU scored a late touchdown to kind of make it look not as bad. And again, that was a hostile environment until it wasn't, just because A&M just blew their doors off. I hear what you're saying. That's not an easy game because people expected South Carolina to be good this year, and they did play pretty well. But man, I'm just not that impressed with Alabama. I'm definitely not impressed with the betting scandals in the NBA. Let's talk about that next on The Money.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One and stay at the top of your game. Several convenient locations across Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, just go to orthopedic1.com. Timmy Hall and AI Common Man here for Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
This ain't one of them, Timmy.
It's not the show, it's a spot. All October, we're watching our football team on Saturdays and the tailgate buffet.
Ooh, Mikey likey. Plus, they've got the 3 apps for $12 deal, and you can beat the crowds and reserve a table.
Yes, do that at HollywoodColumbus.com. And we got a special offer this month. Become a new member of our rewards program on the ESPN Penn Play app and get a $20 dining credit.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan. Scottie Vegas places so many bets, he can't even remember which teams he's rooting for. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Welcome back to the show, On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scottie Vegas, Nate Puderbaugh. We're going to talk more Ohio State football and college football in general in just a moment. I do want to ask you, Scottie, going back to the NBA gambling and just like the whole, legalized sports gambling period, we do think there's going to be crackdowns on prop bets. You even have Adam Silver coming out saying, well, yeah, we probably need to eliminate some of these prop bets. What do you think? I know I'm putting you on the spot. What do you think that will entail roughly? You think, I've heard people say, get rid of unders. It's so easy to manipulate unders, but there's so much money involved.
Can I tell you, I don't think there will be that much change. I really don't. We've seen these scandals before, right? And we're going to continue to have them. I don't think there's going to be a lot to change. And here is why, Dave. Money, money, money. Everybody's making it, right? Off the sports gambling. These teams they all have a sports gambling partner, right? The networks, they're all promoting it. They're all making money off of it. Players are making money off it with all kinds of endorsements. Watch all the commercials, and you'll see these players endorsing it. The states are making a lot of money in tax revenue from it. And so I don't think it's going to change. There might be some, as you said, some prop bets that change a little bit, but there's just so much money involved with it. I don't think we're going to see a change. I think what we might see, and why this case is so interesting, is let's see what the punishments are ultimately going to be for people who are involved with it, right? Involved with the cheating, with the poker tournaments, the cheating with that, and with the props. Let's see what these punishments are. If they're severe enough, let's say there's serious jail time, maybe that will keep people from being involved with it. I think that's how we're going to fix it, more so than doing away with certain props.
And Terry Rozier, if he is guilty of this, all three of these guys are saying, no, I'm innocent of the charges. So who knows? It'll play out. Would we agree, Terry Rozier, his involvement with his unders is nowhere near on the same level as rigged poker games by 4 of the 5 families of New York.
Crazy.
It's crazy. It's almost, I can't wait for all the stuff to come out about this. Yeah, I think, wrapping up real quick, I think some of those micro bets you were talking about will probably go away. Like the stuff that the Guardians pitchers are, being charged with, basically. I don't think they've been officially charged. But, first pitch of an inning, is it going to be a strike or a ball? Some of that stuff you were talking about, people like betting on that stuff.
I don't think it's going away,
You don't
Dave.
think the first pitch? It's too easy to manipulate. I don't know. But you're right, though. Money talks, though.
When you catch these guys, and let's say it's lifetime ban from the sport, let's say ultimately there's jail time involved with some of these people, then that is what's going to be the punishment, more so than taking it away.
They did take away college prop bets, which makes me
in Ohio
makes me think. Yeah, but
in Ohio,
and
just the state.
Some other states did as well.
Some states.
Yeah. I think we're going to see more of that, including in pro. I don't think they're going to do away with prop bets in pro sports, but I do think we're going to see them limit some of them. Although you know more about this stuff than anybody. You're good at it. You follow it closely. So I should err on the side of caution and just what you're saying.
Dave, I'm just following the money and how everybody is making it.
That's smart in any facet of life, right? If you're confused about something, what's going on? Follow the money. Follow the money in any facet of life. On the money. All right, let's get back to Ohio State football. I love where this team's at. Now, of course, and this I knew this was coming. People are coming out of the woodwork now to say, I don't know about Ohio State. Look at the schedule. And look, if you look at it, I get it. Texas was really lucky to win yesterday, against a bad Mississippi State team. Everybody thought Texas was going to be super good this year. They were number 1 in the country entering the season. And then Ohio State beats them. Then people, it was only 14-7 though. Yeah, Ohio State controlled that game. It was 14-0. Texas did score a late touchdown. I get it. You look at Ohio State's schedule right now, it looks bad. And it's not going to get better till they play at Michigan. Because Penn State, number 2 team in the nation, or number 3. Ohio State was 2 in one poll and number 3 in the other, vice versa for Penn State. So, yeah, I get it that the schedule doesn't look good, but my gosh, my eye test, this Ohio State team is right up there with some of the best Ohio State teams I've seen. And they need to improve in certain areas, but especially special teams. Offensively and defensively, I love where this team's at. They also need to improve at running the ball. And that's one thing that concerns me about November 29th in Ann Arbor. If there's bad weather, Michigan can run the ball and they can play defense. Can Ohio State, if it's windy and if there's sleet, just picture the worst possible rainy, weather day you can. Can Ohio State win that game with their running game? Now, I think Ohio State can win it with their defense. I think Matt Patricia was the best coordinator hire in football this past offseason. But I love where this Ohio State team is at, Scotty.
Absolutely. And the betting odds show Ohio State plus 225 to win it all, which equates to about a 30% chance of that the betting odds would be that Ohio State wins the national championship. And I actually had this conversation last hour, and we took a lot of calls on this as far as percentage chance you think Ohio State gets it done and wins it all. Now, Dave, I was at 50%. I said 50% chance Ohio State wins the national championship. I said about 15% for me that Indiana wins it, and then about 35% for the field the rest of the way. Nate was a little more confident. He said 70%.
I went down to 60 by the end.
You did? All right.
Yeah.
So we talked you down to 60% chance Ohio State wins it all. I'm curious out of you, Dave. Right now, what percentage chance do you think Ohio State wins the national championship?
Oh, gosh. If you gave me the field or Ohio State, I would take the field.
So more than 50% for the field.
Yeah, but it'd be really close. Because now, if you gave me one team, there clearly would be Ohio State. So I think Ohio State has a good chance, but I can't say. I almost said 50-50. Then I thought about it. I said, well, if you gave me the field or Ohio State, I get every other team. I think the odds would be in my favor. I think if you however you would look at it. So right now, Ohio State has about a 35% chance of winning it if you look at the odds, right? I would go, like 45% chance of winning the national championship, which is really, really, really good. Okay, I feel I don't want to bash my guys here. I love this Buckeye team. I love the Buckeyes. But, yeah, I couldn't get past 50% because, again, I would take the field over Ohio State, but it's super close. It's super close. I do think Ohio State is the best team. And some of these other teams, Oregon's kind of look pedestrian. Everybody except for Indiana. I kind of, I don't know. And A&M. That was a really impressive win by A&M yesterday. I'll go 45%. What about you?
So mine was 50%. So here's the deal for me looking at the rest of the country. I'm about 15% with Indiana. I'm about 15% with Alabama. And then 20% of the field, right? So after those three, 20%. And the team that's sneaking up that I actually think that percentage could go up on, it's Notre Dame. Because they can really, really run the football. They got all the way to the championship last year.
Now they're playing good defense. They're ready. Chris Ash out of town.
Their schedule is set up. I know they still play Pitt, and Pitt is playing better, but their schedule is set up nicely. I feel like Notre Dame is that sneaky team, and they're currently 11-1, so they're tied for the 5th best odds to win it all. That's the team, to me, that I have circled. After Ohio State, Indiana, Alabama, it's not A&M for me. It's Notre Dame.
Yeah, you can make an argument there. And that Notre Dame A&M game was a toss-up, and that looks like a good loss for Notre Dame now. Miami, not quite as much, but still not a bad loss. And if those are your only 2 losses, you're 10-2 Notre Dame, you're a lock.
Yeah.
You're an absolute lock, and they should be. They should be. That is. Marcus Freeman's doing a good job there. It's, the Brian Kelly stuff, I know we'll get into that later maybe when we're doing who lost the day to start the second hour, not to give too much away there, because it's a collaborative effort. But I think it's going to be tough to beat Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame basically saying you can't win big there, right? He got them to a national championship game, basically saying you can't win big there, and LSU, the resources and everything. Well, Marcus Freeman wins at a higher clip than Brian Kelly did, and then Brian Kelly's driving LSU into the ditch.
Yeah.
I got on our LSU 24/7 Sports. A man named Sonny Ship runs their site. He's their publisher. He wrote a story, said, Brian Kelly, it's time for you to go. And he's very level-headed. Very level-headed. So you have like heavy hitters in, the Baton Rouge media saying it's time for Brian Kelly to go. They're ready to fire Brian Kelly after 4 years.
I get it. We've had so many big names that have been let go mid-season already.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Just imagine, guys, let's say Brian Kelly does leave LSU. And I think Florida State is going to become open at the end of the year, too, because they have been a disaster. And it's hard to imagine that you keep Norvell with the record that they've had in the ACC.
They did beat your boys, Alabama, though.
I know, but
I had to throw that in there. Alabama has not impressed me from day one.
Yeah.
I lost to Florida State, almost lost to South Carolina. I don't know.
Dave, you sat in that seat last week and said Alabama is one step below
This is
Ohio
the
State.
first time I've watched them from start to finish because I'm usually I'm usually busy like gardening and stuff on Saturdays.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing something else actually. Ohio State football. I do a pregame show, watch the game, do a postgame show. So I don't get a chance to watch as much college football live as I would like to. Yesterday was different. I parked myself on the couch all day long. I watched every minute of that Alabama game. Not impressed.
I get it. I'm just telling you, I was more impressed with Alabama finding a way to get that road win, more so than that I was worried about Alabama going forward.
Okay, now do the Florida State loss. How do you explain that away?
I don't want
early in the season. I'll help you. Early in the season, fluky things happen. Week one,
fluky. Yeah, no. I mean, you're right. They're not an elite team. I'm just saying I wouldn't completely throw Alabama away because of yesterday.
I would love to see Ohio State Alabama in like the semifinals, and Ohio State just beat the crap out of them. Oh yeah,
be great.
Oh yeah, the Ohio State's a better team by a considerable margin, in my opinion. Alabama does not tackle well. No, I think Ty Simpson is much better than I expected coming into the year. I didn't learn that yesterday. They're not a bad team. I wonder if their name wasn't Alabama, if you would still feel the same way. Hopefully we get a chance to find out.
Someone brought this up on they've beat 4 straight, ranked teams, blah, blah, blah. It's like Mizzou going into yesterday had the exact same record as Iowa, Washington, and Minnesota and are ranked 15, 20 spots ahead of all of them. What was the difference between those teams?
Between Alabama and Missouri?
Missouri,
He's talking
Washington, Iowa, Minnesota. There's no difference.
Not much. Yeah.
Right. It's like wasn't South Carolina ranked like 12th coming into the year, something like that? Yeah, the SEC gets the benefit of the doubt with that stuff for sure.
I pull up on ESPN the SEC standings, okay? And when I do that, it also shows who's ranked. And you go up and down, and it's A&M 3, Bama 4, Georgia 5, Ole Miss 8, Vanderbilt 10, Texas 22, Tennessee 17, Missouri 15, Oklahoma 13, LSU 20. I mean, just go up and down. Yes, they're almost all ranked. Like and it's not deserved. Like LSU being ranked
going into this
joke.
week.
Yeah, and
seriously,
Texas
that's a great
at 22.
example. Yes.
Texas still, Texas needs a 21-point comeback against a terrible Mississippi State team.
I thought that game was over. I looked at my computer. I'm like, whoa, that game's going into overtime? I thought that game was just flat out over. Yeah, Texas is not very good. I tell you who I think is going to be good this year, though, Scott. Ohio State men's basketball.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you knew this, but they have a exhibition today against Ohio University. Did you know this?
I did.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about it next on The Money.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Treat yourself to a new ride from Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% on a new 25 Kia EV6 or 26 EV9, or get up to $11,000 off MSRP. Get 1.9% on a new 25 Telluride during the Kia Fall Sales Event. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
The based on 2024 retail sales. 0% for 60 months and 1.9% for 48 months equals $16.67 and $21.65 for 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. Manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales exclude ends 10/31/25.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, you may be in big trouble with Chip Wood.
Our owner?
Free oil changes along with alignment
On any 4-tire purchase.
and Goodyear's up to $200 off?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike, but I'm telling.
But the Wood family is behind all this.
Oh, those rascals.
But don't tell the accountants.
Of course not. And what do they do again?
Buy any set of 4 tires at Tire Discounters and get a free alignment and oil change. Make them Goodyear's and save up to $200 more. See store for details.
Delaware County Veteran Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of Veteran County Veteran Service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veteran Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veteran Services.
College. A time to broaden the mind, question, learn. A time to challenge the status quo. And eat a ridiculous amount of pizza, which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University and the unofficial bank of pizza. Let's go Bucks! Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Your car needs a new battery. That'll be $19,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a second opinion.
You wouldn't accept that quote, so why accept this one from that other company?
$19,000 for a new sewer line.
I'm going to call the waterworks instead.
Facing an expensive sewer repair? If another company's quote is way more than expected, call the Waterworks for a second opinion. We have the most experienced drain techs in Central Ohio. Call 614-232-2222.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. Football runs deep in my family. My dad played here, and now my brother and I are proud to carry on that tradition. At Monogram Homes, family matters too. They treat every homeowner like one of their own, building with care, precision, and pride. Monogram doesn't just build houses, they build homes, crafted just for you. So whether you're starting your first home or designing your dream space, Monogram Homes has got your back every step of the way. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Hey, it's Anthony for Orthopedic One. I'm not invincible anymore. I never was, but I refuse to punt on things I still love to do. That's why over the past several years, when I've had things creep up, like back pain, shoulder issue, elbow problem, I've had it all, I've always chosen Orthopedic One. That's because Orthopedic One is Ohio's largest physician-owned orthopedic practice with 60 physicians in every specialty. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com. Orthopedic One. This is where you go to get better.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, 1 pound packs of Private Selection 80% lean Angus ground beef chuck are only $4.99 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Common Man and Timmy.
You can dip in the jus and then dip in the goo.
You do a little jus, you do a little goo. Two in the goo.
Sounds filthy.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by Hinderer Motorsports.
Enjoy all the football this weekend, but remember to join us for Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Sports gambling, fantasy football, and tailgating before a massive day of pigskin. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
All right, guys, I love it. We have Buckeye Hoops this afternoon. Ohio State taking on OU in an exhibition game, and that can be heard right here on The Fan. Game starts at 2 o'clock. Can't wait to see this new Ohio State basketball team. And I think there's several reasons. So I've told people, all my friends, I said, hey, it's time to buy stock in Ohio State hoops because this program is on the rise. And sometimes I get a little resistant because people are like, well, you've said this before. You've been excited going into years before, and there's been a letdown the last several years. And there's a few reasons, Dave, why I think Ohio State hoops will be better this year. One is depth. I think late in the year last year, playing Mobley and Thornton nearly 40 minutes a game down the stretch was a lot, right? And I think they ran out of gas. And so I like the depth that Ohio State's going to have this year. Taysom Chapman's back healthy. They got Gabe Cupps. The other thing is the front court. Like the front court last year was an absolute disaster with Bradshaw and Sean Stewart. And so you bring in Tilly, who's a transfer. You bring in Knoll, experience from Wright State, and you have a freshman, Amari Bynum, who I think is going to be very good this year. I'm really excited about that. And then the other thing is you've got a head coach, Jake Diebler, who was in year one as a head coach last year, and now it's year two. And I asked him about this, what the difference between year one Diebler is and year two is. I asked him about this on Friday. Nate, go ahead and play that.
Yeah, well, first off, I got a master's class or a doctorate in close games last year. We had 11 games decided by 2 possessions or less. I think 8 or 9 of those were 1 possession or less. At one point, we had 5 straight. First time in 126-year history of Ohio State basketball where 5 straight games were decided by one possession or less. So I got so many lessons learned in that setting. Certainly. And then I think the other thing that I got much better at as the year went on, but certainly took another level this spring and moving forward was to rely on my staff. I mean, I was able to hire an unbelievable staff. They're super close. They have just this depth of experience, a lot of different experiences. And I don't think I leaned on them or utilized their talents as well as I could have in year one. And so that was an area I needed to correct. And I feel like I'm doing that better. And I also learned, head coaches, there's no way to prepare for the amount of decisions a head coach has to make. You can go to clinics that they talk about becoming a head coach. You watch head coaches operate, but until you do it, it's different. And I let that take away from one of the things I think is so important there for a stretch last year. I let it take away from my time with the players. And so I adjusted that. I'm spending more time with our players this offseason, this year so far than I did last year. And I think that relationship is really critical. So I had to look myself in the mirror, acknowledge some areas where I could have been better, and those were some of those. And, I've been able to implement the changes here moving forward.
So, Dave, I want Jake to succeed so badly. Like I think he is. I think he is the right guy for here. He's obviously locking up Ohio as far as recruiting goes. I want to get your thoughts. I feel like I'm kind of OSU basketball super fan. So I sometimes I get a little too carried away with my excitement for this team. But what is your thoughts and expectations for this year?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. And what does that mean? I think they can be, a top 5 or 6 team in the Big Ten. I think they were picked 9th, right in the middle. This was just, I think, like 30 different writers. I think Adam Jardy put it together, maybe with the help of somebody else. And Ohio State was picked 9th at Big Ten Media Days. Again, small sample size of voters, but still. I think they're going to be better than that. I think they're going to make the tournament. And I think they can, win a game or 2 in the tournament. Here's the thing. They bring back the big 3 from last year, and it's reasonable to expect they'll be even better, right? With Bruce Thornton, Junie especially. Junie looked like Steph Curry early in the season. I'm exaggerating a little bit, and then definitely hit the freshman wall. Devin Royal made a huge jump from freshman year to sophomore year. Now, I'm not saying he's going to make that big of a jump into junior year, but I think he's going to be good. So you bring the big three back. And then, like you said, I think they did a good job in the portal. Did they get, these superstar names? No, but I think they did a really good job, like getting guys like Tilly, getting guys like Brandon Knoll. And I think Gabe Cupps was a sneaky good get. People just look at the fact that, he wasn't any good as a true freshman in Indiana 2 years ago. Okay. This guy's going to be a backup point guard. Like, that's a good get right there for a backup point guard. Okay, Amari Bynum, you mentioned him. He's a freshman. He's not a transfer. Tayson Chapman, who is, hopefully now healthy for the first time. This is his third year at Ohio State. Missed the first 2 years due to injury. Now a third-year sophomore. Hopefully he's healthy. I like this team. Now, I do not think that they're going to be like, a Final Four team. I'm not going crazy like that, but I think they've got a chance to be one of the top teams in the Big Ten and, maybe challenge for a Sweet 16. I think that is a reasonable expectation. I think if they miss the tournament, I'll be surprised and extremely disappointed.
Yep, I'm right with you as far as those expectations. Now let's give you the betting odds for Ohio State hoops this year. So Big Ten-wise, they are 5th in the odds to win the Big Ten Conference. Purdue is the favorite at plus 185. Then you have Michigan plus 450. We know the comparisons are going to be there between Jake Diebler and Dusty May, but Michigan is 2nd in the odds to win the Big Ten Championship. UCLA 3rd, Illinois 4th, and then you have Ohio State sitting there at 14-1 to win the Big Ten this year. So, yeah, kind of, as you mentioned, kind of the top 5, top 6 in the Big Ten is kind of the goal, and then being a tournament team. And then, obviously, once you get in, you hope to be a second weekend team. It's been forever since we've seen the success for Ohio State hoops.
Yeah, I mean, they just did such a bad job in the portal last year. We talked to Ross Bjork earlier this week, had him on a podcast for Bucknuts, and he just flat out said, he was talking about the basketball team. He's like, yeah, we had some misses in the portal last year. Just matter of fact. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And I get it. I mean, Bradshaw and Stewart, the athletic ability, the pedigree, they're both McDonald's All-Americans. But I like getting a guy like Christoph Tilly.
I do too.
A guy who's going to be a solid Big Ten center, experienced. Brandon Knoll, another one. He's like a 6th-year senior. He really is, because he missed 2 years at Wright State, and I think one of those years, he is. He's a 6th-year senior, so I think they did a good job overall. I mean, again, nothing flashy, but I think, and again, time will tell, but I think they did a good job in the portal this year.
Yep, and reminder, you can listen to the Buckeyes against the Bobcats today at 2 o'clock here on The Fan.
All right. First hour of the show is in the book. Stick around for the second hour. This is On the Money.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tidy whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond traditional medicine. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell. People just like you are finding lasting relief without steroids, medication, or surgery. Right here in Columbus at QC Kinetics, you'll be treated by highly regarded orthopedic surgeon Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sports Medicine. Here's how it works. Your blood contains tiny but mighty healing tools at QC Kinetics. Dr. Tesner and his team get to the root of where your pain stems from, right down to the cells involved. By putting these natural elements to work, your body can revitalize your joints, literally using your own power to heal. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and there's no downtime. If your back, knees, or shoulders are keeping you from enjoying life, explore all your options before you agree to more pills or surgery. Find out if you're a good candidate. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water?
I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning, I'm Nate Puterball with your sports update. Last night in Toronto, it was Game 2 of the World Series. Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched his second straight complete game in the postseason, leading the Dodgers to a 5-1 victory, becoming the first pitcher to accomplish that feat since Kurt Schilling in 2001. He retired the final 20 batters he faced. The CBJ were on the road last night at Pittsburgh, and they came home with a 5-4 shootout win. Dmitry Voronkov led the way with 2 goals in the victory, giving the Jackets their second win in Pittsburgh in the last 18 tries. In the NFL today, the Browns are on the road taking on the New England Patriots at 1, and Joe Flacco and the Bengals host the winless Jets also in the 1 o'clock slot. And in college football, notable games saw number 3 Texas A&M blow out LSU, Alabama survived South Carolina, Indiana beating down UCLA, and Texas rallying to knock off Mississippi State but losing Arch Manning in the process. Breaking sports news when it happens at the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Scottie Vegas places so many bets, he can't even remember which teams he's rooting for. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scottie Vegas. Producer Nate Puterball at the controls. Got a fun second hour for you. We're going to have some this or that later in the hour. Talk more Ohio State football, talk about the gambling scandal. Talk about Ohio State basketball, some NFL to get into. But right about now, it's time for the Parlay Party. Hit it, Nate. All right, the Parlay Party is where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be anything at all. Scottie Vegas, what are you celebrating?
Yeah, guys, I'm celebrating, of course, Ohio State Hoops. Playing today, playing OU. That's at 2 right here on the Fan. Can't wait for that season to start. How about that? And Nate brought this up during the update there. How about the Blue Jackets with the win in Pittsburgh? Absolutely celebrating that. Love that. Guys, I'm also celebrating that it is Ohio State Penn State week. Like, I know that we've kind of thought, all right, it's lost a lot of the luster of this with Penn State being bad. However, I want Ohio State to just put it on Jim Knowles this coming week. Ohio State a 20-point favorite in that game. So I'm celebrating the fact that it's Ohio State Penn State week. And then I'm also celebrating the fact that my daughter Autumn made her middle school basketball team, did her tryouts this week, made it. Proud of her, really excited. Dave, what are you celebrating on this Sunday?
Autumn's a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah, she's doing it all.
Tennis, basketball. Does she do anything else? Golf?
No. I'm trying to get her into golf.
I was going to say, don't you have to be into golf in the Scottie Vegas family?
I want her to get into golf.
Well, she's young.
She's resistant.
Focus on the tennis and the basketball for now, all right? I'm glad she's not just specializing in one sport like every other kid, including my girls. All right, I am celebrating that Autumn made the basketball team. I will celebrate that with you. But I am celebrating this. I wasn't having a great day in betting yesterday, and then I noticed I was watching some of that Ohio University Eastern Michigan game because I have a sickness.
And it was on a gray field.
It was on a gray field, which they're known for up there in Ypsilanti.
That was hard to watch, though.
And it was 14-7 Eastern at halftime, but it was fluky. Ohio had a touchdown called back. Eastern had a real long play, and they couldn't do anything else. And Ohio still had a lot more total yards. I look at it, I'm like, okay, if Ohio's getting plus money right now, which I wasn't convinced they were, only down 14-7, I'm going to make a relatively large wager for my standards. They were plus 128. So I made a nice little wager and won some money on the Bobcats. They came back and took care of business. They immediately tied it up, and then boom, it was 21-14 before you could blink. They got 28 28-14 and up 28-21. So I'm celebrating. The Bobcats saved me yesterday because overall it was not a good day for the
Didn't you also take Michigan State?
Michigan State on live bet. It got all the way up to plus 21.5. I did that on a couple different of my apps, but that wasn't like a lot of money. That was just, I think I just put like $15. 30 totals, 15 on one of them, 15 on the other. Yeah, Michigan State, when they got down early, it shot all the way up to plus 21.5. Michigan State. I'm like, okay, I still think they're going to come back and make somewhat of a game. Now, the officiating in that game was sketchy to say the least, but Michigan State made it kind of interesting in the second half. And yeah, I won a little coin on that as well. But overall, not a good betting day for me. But thanks to the Ohio Bobcats, it went a different direction. All right, Nate, what are you celebrating, bud?
Well, with the Buckeyes off yesterday, of course, watched a lot of college football, but I got to focus finally on some hockey for once. I, of course, do a lot of the OSU hockey here at the Fan. So yesterday, OSU hockey with a big 3-0 victory. And then the CBJ actually getting it done in Pittsburgh. Should have gotten it done in regulation, made it difficult, but finally getting that monkey off their back, getting a win in Pittsburgh. That is what I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for the Jackets. Absolutely huge. And the Penguins had not been a very good team the last few years, and they started out, like 6-2? Is that like a fluky start, or is that like, are the Penguins like back?
I hope not.
Yeah. Let's go with fluky start.
Let's go with that one. Yeah.
All right. We're fluky start. All right. Now, speaking of categories, let's get to college football categories.
Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
Best thing we saw, worst thing we saw, who won the day, coolest thing we saw. All right. Let's start with who won the day in college football.
I'm going to throw a name out there. A&M had a big win, but Marcel Reed.
Yes. That's what I've written down.
And he has improved his Heisman odds. He's now up to 7-1. So he's a guy who I think won the day. I'm going to give it to also the nominee to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss.
Yes.
Going to win at Oklahoma. I find Lane Kiffin fun. Like, I like watching Lane Kiffin. He's dancing on the sideline a little bit.
Did you see him, like, talking trash?
Yes.
In a fun way with the Oklahoma defensive lineman right before that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And you had the sideline reporter asking him, like, are you talking trash to the Oklahoma guy? And he's like, yeah, this guy was telling me the entire game, like, you can't score on us, you can't score on us. It was all in good fun. You're right. I used to think Lane Kiffin was just an unlikable guy.
Me too.
I completely believe he's an unlikable person.
You're still there. I see what you're saying, though.
I like him. I really like Lane Kiffin. We also have to say Indiana for winning by 50 points.
That's where I was going.
And Vandy.
And Vandy.
People are like, is Vandy for real? You know, I bet Missouri's going to come up there and beat them. No. They continue going, okay, let's go with, now I wrote down Marcel Reed.
Yeah. You know, gosh.
Indiana's so used to winning games by 50 points against Big Ten foes. They beat Illinois by 53. No,
I think it's less that they won by 50 and more that finally everyone realized, okay, this team actually is for real.
Right.
And might be the second, or some people were saying, are they better than Ohio State? Like, that's not a small deal.
What was your guys' biggest takeaway yesterday? Because I think my biggest takeaway was, gosh, Indiana is elite. Like, I think that they're a very, very good team. That may have been the headline for me in all of college football yesterday.
To me, it's definitely A&M going into LSU and just smacking them around. That is a tough place to play. Like, that's one of the toughest venues in college football. And they went in there and just destroyed the Tigers. All right, let's go with Marcel Reed.
Yep.
All right. Now, who lost the day? Let's stay in Baton Rouge. My nominee is Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
It was South Carolina for a while, but then it became Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm just going with the whole SEC yesterday.
But like I tell you, I said this earlier, like, I have this habit of going on to like our 24/7 sports sites of different teams after they lose, like Penn State, when they lost to like UCLA, going on their board was very interesting, for example. So I get on our LSU board. I believe it's called like Tiger Bait. No, it's like Tiger Bites or something like that. I'll have to look that up. They are calling for Brian Kelly's job now. And these are reasonable people who run that site. They're calling for Brian Kelly's job now. So I nominate Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the winner. I think you could also make the case a little bit for South Florida, too. They looked like they were going to be the team that was going to be a playoff team out of the group of 5. They lose to Memphis, so that gives them their second loss. But yeah, loser of the day, Brian Kelly. And actually, it kind of spills over to the coolest thing I saw because it was so funny because every time something bad was going on with LSU, they would show Brian Kelly on the sideline, and he is just like standing there yelling at his assistant coaches. Like after every bad play, ESPN like, focus in on Brian Kelly, and he's yelling and screaming at some different assistant coach. It was hilarious.
Yes. All right. Now, okay. Coolest thing we saw. Now, I didn't see this live because I don't watch College Game Day. Okay, the kid from Vanderbilt, the student that won $500,000,
yes,
kicking a 33-yard field goal in his socks, live on Game Day. When I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's pretty. I think he got $5,000. No, $500,000. How about that? That kid's just going to drop out of school now. Nah, he's going to Vandy. He'll be a doctor or a lawyer.
That is one of the cool things that I'm not a huge game day watcher, but the field goal kick is always intriguing to me. You know, that kind of, I will say Pat McAfee has gotten me watching more of College Game Day than previous, partially because of his pick at the end, but also that field goal kick. I love that. Yeah. You know what? There wasn't a ton of coolest thing I saw. Like I still go back to Diego Pavia and the story of Vanderbilt. The fact that we have Vanderbilt, Indiana, and Virginia
and Georgia Tech
as teams that are legit in the race, you know, as far as making the playoffs this year. I think that's great for college football.
Virginia disappointed me yesterday. Speaking of those bets I lost, I'm like, oh, North Carolina is such a disaster, and Virginia's going to go in there and crush them. Virginia was favored by 10.5. They were lucky to win by 1.
They won by about 2 inches.
Yes,
because Carolina's going for 2 at the end to win the game, and get stopped at about the 2-inch line. So
let's get a consent. Let's get Nate in here. Yeah. Let's
coolest
get a
thing you saw, Nate.
I'll go with the field goal kick. There was just like there was a whole lot of meh yesterday in college football. Like it's how it felt to me.
And just that prize, man.
Yeah,
$500,000.
Hey, I wanted to ask you guys about this as far as the Big Ten goes, because I think there's a conversation of, you know, Oregon did not look good yesterday. They end up beating Wisconsin, but didn't look all that good. As far as the playoff picture for the Big Ten, Illinois now eliminated after losing to Washington. What are we thinking now? We know Ohio State, Indiana lock. We feel like Oregon most likely going to make the playoff unless something crazy happens at the end here for them. But as far as a 4th spot, are you at the point now where you're like, I don't think there is going to be a 4th spot? Or do you see a route for an Iowa or a route for a Washington to actually get in, or even Michigan?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're an Ohio State fan, you almost should be rooting the only 3 teams get in. I think Oregon's a lock. I think Oregon, unless they lose 2 games, which they're not going to do, 10-2 Oregon would get in. Let's say they lost a close game to Washington, for example. I don't think they will. I think they'll finish 11-1. We could have a situation where only 3 Big Ten teams make it, and they all have first-round byes. If 11-1 Oregon is sitting there, they're not going to be worse than 4th. They're already, 6th, 5th? Something like that. I think they're 6th.
I think if Iowa wins out, there's a pretty good case for them, especially because that'll also give them a win at against Oregon.
You know, the other thing about
10-2 Iowa would be a lock.
The other thing about Iowa, guys, is they actually played Indiana really tight.
That's what I'm saying.
In that game.
10-2, as you're saying, with the win over Oregon, which I don't think is going to happen, that 10-2 Iowa team is a lock, in my opinion. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to happen. If Washington wins out, that 10-2 Washington team is a lock. If Michigan wins out, which would include a win on November 29th, that 10-2 Michigan team is a lock. So Buckeyes need to make sure they not only win that game, they knock Michigan out of the playoff race, because 9-3 Michigan is out. 10-2 Michigan is in.
How great will that be? Because you're right. If Michigan wins that game, they'll be a playoff team. Because if you look at their schedule coming up, it's really bad. So I think they will go into that Ohio State game with 2 losses with really a clear picture of you win that game, you're in. You lose that game, you're out. So I'd love to ruin their season.
And USC as well, right? USC wins out. So you do have some Big Ten teams, if they win out, any of those Big Ten teams with only 2 losses, a 10-2 USC, I believe they only have 2 losses. Like we said, Iowa, Michigan, some of these teams, Washington, they would be in at 10-2, but I don't think any of them are going to get there.
Yeah, I think
we're going to have 3 teams. And I think it's going to be a situation, if it's 12-0 Ohio State against 12-0 Indiana, 1 versus 2 in the Big Ten championship game, as you mentioned, assuming that's a relatively close game, the loser of that game is not dropping any further than 3rd.
No.
They might even stay at 2nd. It'd be 12-1. Their one loss would be the number 1 team in the nation in a close game in the Big Ten championship game. So you'd have 2 Big Ten teams with the bye. Oregon then could be that fourth team if they're sitting there 11-1. You could have 3 Big Ten teams out of the 12 make the playoffs, but all 3 of them get first-round byes.
Yeah, gosh. Now that you mention that, you're right. If Oregon does win out, they probably are 4.
Yeah. And A&M.
If it's A&M undefeated and Alabama and Bama wins, those two are going to get the other 2 slots. I think.
I think that's true. But yeah, if it's let's say A&M wins, they would be third or second, maybe second, and then you'd have 3 Big Ten teams in the SEC champ.
Yeah. So Georgia Tech is undefeated.
Yep.
And BYU is undefeated.
Yep.
I couldn't see either one of them moving up to top 4, though.
No. All right, let's get into some NFL next. We're going to look at odds to win the AFC North and some betting information for games later today. That's up next on The Money.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Credit challenges, we got solutions. At Capital Florida, Columbus, and Whitehall, all credit types are welcome. Good, fair, poor, or none. Get approved fast and cruise away happy. Stop in or visit us online at CapitalFloridaColumbus.com.
Hey friends, good news for you. All your favorite NBA players, they're back. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers, you bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, all paid out in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEFAN971. That's code THEFAN971. Bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Hey, Sports Cards fans. I'm Jeff with my buddy Adam, and we run Huggy Kissy Bear breaks on the Whatnot app. What's a card break? Simple. We open boxes of cards live, you pick your team, and we send you all the hits. With over 2,300 5-star reviews, we're all about you. New to card breaks? No sweat. We've got you covered with a sweet welcome package from us. Download the Whatnot app and follow us on Instagram and TikTok to view all of our past Sugar Bear hits. Huggy Kissy Bear breaks, where collectors win big.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One and stay at the top of your game. Several convenient locations across Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, just go to orthopedic1.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
All credit types are welcome at Capital Florida, Columbus, and Whitehall. From perfect scores to starting fresh, we'll get you driving. Shop our huge selection and leave in your new car today. Stop in or visit us online at CapitalFloridaColumbus.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron, what are we going to do with these 41 new trucks you bought?
Those extra trucks are to make sure that we can always send someone to the rescue when a customer needs us.
Plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians to the rescue.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna keep you warm all winter HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.
Aaron, you bought those 41 new trucks at exactly the right time.
I know, Jerry, because everyone, everywhere, is needing help with their furnace right now.
Summertime is when furnaces develop problems.
The contacts and relays and sensors get all wonky.
Because summertime is when furnaces are not being used.
And our technicians can unwonk them.
Get Eco.
If you need someone to unwonk your furnace, get Eco.
Our technicians can unwonk anything.
And with 41 new trucks, they can get there fast, fast, fast. Give It Away Plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna keep you warm all winter HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai, lease a new 2026 Hyundai Tucson SE for just $189 a month. You heard it, $189. Plus get owner assurance and America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Only at Great Lakes Hyundai, Columbus or Dublin, or GLakesHyundai.com.
GLakesHyundai.com.
With approved credit, $39.95 down plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10 miles per year, ends 11/3.
Love football? Love wings? Put those bad boys together and you get Austin and Byrne live at Roosters.
Presented by Bryant Heating and Cooling.
Large amounts of football and all the donkey sauce you can handle. Mondays on the Fans YouTube channel. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies are expected here for your Sunday as temperatures warm up into the lower 60s here for this afternoon. Winds will be fairly light at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head into the work week, we're tracking more sunshine here for your Monday with highs in the low 60s. But our next weather maker will bring clouds on Tuesday, and then rain arrives here for Wednesday and Thursday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here on 97.1 The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Some people golf on Sunday mornings. Some people place bets on the people playing golf on Sunday mornings. This is On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Perhaps one of the greatest questions we've ever been asked in the YouTube chat. And it's from our boy, Eric. He says, all right, boys, how are we making money today?
And
that's what this show is all about,
I was
right?
trying to do some conversation with Scotty during the break, and I said something to him about I like this bet a lot today. I'll tell you what the bet is in a moment. And I said why I like it, and Scotty's like staring, and he looks at me and goes, yeah. And I go, you didn't hear anything I just said, did you? He said, nope.
I was placing bets of my own here.
Here's what I like today. I like Justin Fields, 50 or more rushing yards against this trash Bengals defense, and you're getting plus money, plus 110. But I thought it would be like the over-under would be like closer to like 60. If you want to go 60, then you're getting plus 170 yards. You want to be crazy and go Justin Fields a rush for 70 yards? You're getting plus 300. I think Fields getting 50 rushing yards today, he'd have to get knocked out of the game, which he did last week. No, they just benched him last week. That's right. Now, they were going to start Tyrod Taylor today, but then he got hurt. So he didn't even make the trip to Cincinnati. 50 rushing yards for Justin Fields against this defense. He might have that in the first half.
All right, this isn't going to be a sexy play here, Dave, but I do really like it. It's 3 teams that are favored just on the money line to win the game outright, and they're all at home. So I like this. They're also the better teams. I've got the Bengals to beat the Jets. Again, this one's in Cincinnati. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Giants.
These are just money lines, right?
Just money line. And these are, I'm watching the Giants last week, and they just absolutely collapsed down the stretch against the Broncos. And then the third one, I'm going to take the Patriots over the Browns. I've got 3 home teams, 3 teams that are better, and you get more than 1-to-1. You get actually plus 115 on that 3-way money line parlay. I like it. It's not sexy. It's not a sexy, 15-to-1 parlay, but I think all 3 of those win today, and so I like that one.
It's interesting. I was doing some research before the show, some show prep, as it were, and the Bengals were 6.5-point favorites, which they have been all week. And I just looked at it during the break. It's now dropped to 5.5. It's interesting, the Justin Fields effect.
Yeah. Let me ask you this as far as betting goes. So today is National Tight Ends Day.
Yes.
All right. There's a lot of people in the betting world who celebrate National Tight Ends Day. Are you someone who does that? Because I'll be honest with you, I generally, as a bettor, I do not like betting touchdowns. To me, they're so fluky. There's a lot of people around here at the station that like to do it. I know Ryan always puts together these touchdown parlays. And I know on National Tight Ends Day, you get boosts and things like that for it. I'm not a big touchdown guy, so I won't get involved too much with the tight end, the National Tight End Day as far as touchdowns go. I was curious if it's something that you pay attention to, because a lot of sports gamblers do.
No, I when I'm doing like props, as you know, I do a lot of over-unders for receiving yards, like I'm talking about with Justin Fields today, over under 50 rushing yards. I love those. Like when we were at the casino for the last Bengals game against the Steelers, I had the one with T. Higgins going over. And speaking of tight end, Noah Fant going over. And that one hit, a little two-leg parlay. So, yeah, I mean, if I did one today, especially with Gesicki being out for the year, I might go Noah Fant. I'd have to look at exactly what it is. I might go Noah Fant over certain amount of receiving yards like I did last time, but I stay away from touchdowns as well.
Yeah, and if you are someone who out there does like to play the tight ends and do the National Tight End Day, George Kittle is a guy who kind of steps out and makes sense to me. Last year on National Tight End Day, Kittle went off for 128 receiving yards, 7 catches, and a touchdown. So if I were to, maybe I'll join for a very small amount, just to have a little bit of fun on National Tight End Day. Maybe I'd do a little George Kittle and maybe Jake Ferguson parlay. But again, I mostly stay away from touchdown bets because I think they're fluky.
Noah Fant, only 27.5 is his over-under. Can Noah Fant get 28 receiving yards today? That might be an interesting one, because he's clearly tight end one for the Bengals. Not that he wasn't anyway, because Gesicki's out for the year. He has been for the last couple of weeks, but so it's not anything new. But yeah, he could. Then again, though, Jamar Chase is going to get about 20 balls thrown to him.
Yeah.
And T. Higgins is going to get his share too. But that's a very low number. I might go Noah Fant over 28.5 receiving yards. Let me ask you this real quick. Have you seen the AFC North odds to win the AFC North?
Not in the last couple weeks.
And I'm sure number one, the favorite is who?
Steelers.
And it's plus 110.
Right.
Who do you think's number 2?
I think it's probably still the Ravens.
Yes.
Because I was looking, one thing I was looking at was the Ravens schedule coming up, and they have a handful of weeks here in a row where they should win. Now, Lamar being out this week hurts that fact, but and
then you wonder if it's going to linger.
Correct.
Especially with it being a hamstring. And
it already has lingered, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he's going to come back at some point. They thought he was going to come back this week. They're actually getting investigated for fudging the practice report. Saying, oh, yeah, he was a full participant. For the scout team, not doing anything. Ravens plus 160. It's a little closer than I thought. So Steelers plus 110, Ravens plus 160. I want you to guess. They are third. Okay. I thought it'd be close. Okay, I'm going to give it away.
Well, no, let me guess at it. Okay. I'm going to guess 4-1.
That's really, really, really good. 4.5 to 1. It's plus 450. I thought it'd be closer between the Bengals and Ravens, just because that was such a big win for the Bengals over the Steelers. And now the Bengals are sitting there at 2-0 in the division. And now that they have like a legit quarterback again, they could be dangerous. Of course, with this defense, could they really be dangerous? I don't know. Probably not. But I thought it'd be a little close. I thought it'd be more like 3-1 for the Bengals, but it's 4.5 to 1, and then the Browns 25 to 1. Real quick, Super Bowl odds: the Chiefs. Left for dead by some idiots earlier in the year, pointing at me, are the Super Bowl favorites, 5 to 1. Lions had the second best odds, plus 650. Then it goes Bills 7 to 1. Packers plus 750. I do like the Steelers tonight. The Steelers are a 2.5-point underdog at home, prime time against the Packers. The Packers are good. And then you have the Aaron Rodgers situation. I think if it was in Lambeau, that might work against him. I think at home, he'll be extra motivated. But anyway, the Packers plus 450. I do like the Steelers tonight on the money line. Fifth, Eagles 10 to 1. You have the Colts and the Rams. I think both of those are legit contenders. They're tied 12 to 1, the sixth lowest odds. And you have Broncos 18 to 1. 49ers and Bucks 20 to 1. Chargers and Ravens 22 to 1.
Yeah, you know what? The more I watch the Rams, the more I like, right? I mean, I think that you just read off the board as far as value goes. I think that might be the value play. NFC, which I think is really, really wide open.
Yep.
I like the Rams at, you said 12 to 1?
12 to 1.
Yeah, sign me up for that one.
And Colts at 12 to 1 is interesting too, although, yeah, I like the Rams more. I mean, McVay's already been to 2 Super Bowls and has won one. Like he doesn't get enough respect as
you got the coach, you got the quarterback,
exactly.
You got the running game, you got the elite wide receiver, you got defense. Rams.
I like the Rams.
To me, a good bet. All right, let's take a 2-minute timeout, real quick. 2-minute timeout. We're going to come back and we're going to do this or that. This is On the Money.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Give the gift everyone wants. Fun in your own game room. Billiards Plus has gifts for everyone. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, card tables, grills, and more. With professional delivery and installation, you'll beat the last-minute scramble. Reserve yours now. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Timmy Hall and AI Common Man here for Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
This ain't one of them, Timmy.
It's not the show. It's a spot. All October, we're watching our football team on Saturdays and the tailgate buffet.
Ooh, Mikey likey. Plus, they've got the 3 apps for $12 deal, and you can beat the crowds and reserve a table.
Yes, do that at HollywoodColumbus.com. And we got a special offer this month. Become a new member of our rewards program on the ESPN Penn Play app and get a $20 dining credit.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Treat yourself to a new ride from Coughlin Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Chevy Trailblazer or 25 Trax, $189 a month. New 26 Chevy Equinox, $239 a month. Or a new 26 Silverado, just $369 a month. Visit CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
36-month lease with $39.99 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 10/31/25.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. And now back to a show featuring 2 dudes who have been kicked out of their homes by angry wives. This pretty much sums up every show we have here on The Fan. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. All right, let's get right to it. It's time for This or That. Hit it, Nate.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that.
All right, fellas. So I used to be a guy like, I have an iPhone, and I used to be one, I would get one every 2 years, because initially that was my plan. Every 2 years I would get a new phone. That's just how it worked. I don't know. I don't think it'd be free, but it'd be like a big discount. So every 2 years I would get a phone. At some point, our plan changed. I was still starting to get like one every 2 years. It just seemed like the right time. Now, maybe it's just because I'm cheap. I tend to keep them until they're almost broken now. Like I'm overdue. This one is, what is this? I think I have a 14. Yeah. So this is overdue. This is like 2.5 years old. Are you guys getting with, you buy a phone every 2 years-ish? It doesn't have to be right on 2 years. Or are you somebody who's like, no, I'm going to keep this phone till it breaks?
Funny, I'm just like you. I used to always, when the deal was up, it's time, contract's up. Here we go, upgrade time. And you'd kind of like count down and be excited about the new one. Now I'm like, I like my phone. There's not much else I want out of my phone. So I'm comfortable with it. All that good stuff. So yeah, I don't need it every 2 years anymore.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I know I gave it away already. I'm getting with it. Doesn't even necessarily be until it breaks, but it has to at least be like bothering me, or
right.
It's like break adjacent. So yeah, I've gone away from the every 2 years. I am getting with. I get a new one when I need to get a new one.
Yeah, I pretty much go with it until it stops holding a charge.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, both my this or that's today are going to be food related. Yeah. All right, it was a bye week. It's time to start getting into the food this or that's.
Yes.
And I don't think we've ever done this one on the show.
Ooh.
This is an ice cream version of this or that. I got a call from my wife the other day. She was at UDF and she's like, "Hey, I'm getting some ice cream. What flavor do you want?" And I took a couple minutes and I was trying to decide back and forth between mint chocolate chip and cookies and cream. So you getting with mint chocolate chip or cookies and cream are the better ice cream flavor?
Oh, I like both of them. I thought you were going to say something
or the
else.
Field?
Yeah, or the Field. Yeah, I might go with cookie dough if it was the Field. I just like regular chocolate too. Of those two, and again, I like both of them a lot. I will go with mint chocolate chip. That's definitely one of my top 2 or 3.
Yep, I'm a huge mint chocolate chip guy. I do like the cookies and cream. It was a tough decision, but give me the mint chocolate chip.
If you'd given me the cookie dough, it would have been that, but I'll go with the mint chocolate chip.
Go ahead, Nate.
All right, so as we're getting closer to, the playoffs and everything, and I'm sitting around watching the SEC kind of just play with themselves yesterday and not do anything remotely impressive, are you getting with the Big Ten or the Field this year for the national championship?
Oh, good question.
I'll go with Big Ten because then you're giving me, again, it was close when it was, are you going Ohio State or Field? And I was like, I'll go Field, 55% to 45%. You give me Indiana and Oregon and Ohio State, I'm going Big Ten over the Field.
Okay, so I obviously have to go with Big Ten because I said I say Ohio State 50% chance they win the national championship. I said Indiana a 15% chance, and then I'd throw Oregon another probably 5%. So I'm definitely going Big Ten.
Yeah, Big Ten, absolutely.
3 in a row.
All right, the phrase, you can't compare apples and oranges, right? It's like comparing apples and oranges. It's like, okay, so you guys getting with apples or oranges?
Oh, gosh.
I always thought that was stupid, right? I mean, you can compare them.
They're both round.
They're both fruits. Let's say you can have one or the other, and you need to pick one. You can compare apples and oranges. What do you like better? So what do you like better, apples or oranges? Generally speaking.
Generally speaking, I'm going to go with the orange. But I like apple-flavored things, right? Apple desserts are great, apple pie. But just if we're talking about an actual apple versus an actual orange, give me the orange.
I'm just glad we're comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, this is good.
I am, generally speaking, going with the orange. Now, if you tell me it's like a Florida orange that's just as juicy as possible, plus fresh squeezed orange juice, oh my gosh, next level. Now, I do like apples, but I like oranges more.
I'm going with apples. If I'm grabbing one, it's usually because I'm on the run and just need something quick to eat, and there's less work involved with an apple.
Okay, guys, we had a food delivery earlier in the week here at the station, and it was subs. And I am a huge sub guy. I actually years ago thought I'd love to do a podcast called Scottie on Subs, and where I just go to all these different sub places and try them out and review them and all that good stuff.
And then you got on a diet instead. Or you can't eat bread.
But here's the deal. I like hot subs and I like cold subs. It kind of depends on the mood that you're in. But generally speaking, are you getting with hot subs or are you getting with cold subs?
Generally speaking, cold subs, but I'm with you. I like both. I like a good cheesesteak. Even here in Columbus, Ohio, I like a good cheesesteak. I've never been to Philly. How about that? I don't know. Isn't that random?
I've never been either.
I've never been to Philly. So I've never tried like a real Philly cheese. And I don't like the cheese whiz on mine. I like the mozzarella or the provolone actually. Generally speaking though, I'm getting a cold sub.
See, I love when they heat that sub up. I love it. I used to go to Quiznos in college all the time, and you watch them heat up, and gosh, I love it. So give me the hot sub over the cold sub.
I need my cheese melted. Give me a hot sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pick between your children type question right there.
Right.
I love both of
great.
them. Both great. Yeah. And even some of the times I get it, to your point, some of the times I get like a typical cold sub, I even think maybe I'll get it toasted this time. But if I'm getting like a turkey sub, I usually just keep it cold. All right, let's get to my next one here. We talked about this earlier with all the stuff going on, with the gambling, and not just the latest one, but obviously there's been some other instances like, Jonte Porter, for example, and some other ones. And you've had, Adam Silver of all people coming out and saying that we got to limit prop bets. All right. Are you guys getting with prop bets should be limited in pro sports? Or are you getting with, no, it should be the exact same way it is now. Don't let a few apples spoil it for everybody.
No.
Bad apples.
I do not believe that they should limit. And I still, you mentioned this earlier in the show about Ohio stopping the college prop bets. And I still think that you should be able to do it. Here's my thing. I think that you need to have a severe enough punishment for anybody who breaks these rules that they stop risking it, right? So, like in this case, I think there's going to be jail time. That would stop people from doing it, and lifetime bans, right? Be more tough and more lifetime bans from the sport. To me, that's how you stop this more so than just taking prop bets off the board. Because even if you do that, like, what stops people from affecting outcomes of games more so than just an individual prop?
It's just harder to,
Sure.
Like you look, and I know this is an easy example. Look at the two pitchers for the Guardians, who a lot of baseball insiders think will be banned for life. Clase and Ortiz, if it's proven. And it looks pretty bad.
If it's proven, they should be.
They should be. And I think that's a good point. I'm getting with it that should be limited. Stuff like the first pitch of the inning, ball or strike, that's too easy to manipulate. Because I'm sure Clase, if they're guilty of it, and Ortiz both thought, okay, I'll give him one ball. It's 1-0. I'm going to come back and get him. I'm not throwing the game. You almost can convince yourself of that. You're not affecting the game, even though you are. Because that one ball could lead to a walk or whatever, puts the batter up ahead of the count. What if he hits a home run the next pitch? But I think there has to be something done. I think there's too many prop bets. There's stuff you shouldn't be able to bet on Jonte Porter's unders.
Why not?
Because it's too easy to manipulate.
Well, that's on the person manipulating it.
And to your point, like if the punishment is severe enough, maybe that's the route to go. But I am getting with, I think some prop bets should be taken off the board.
Yeah, I'm with the idea of, like, I'm fine with the college ones going away since there's technically still amateur. I'm fine getting rid of prop bets for amateur athletes, but beyond that, keep them in.
One example that I had that I was kind of talking to people around the office about, and this was more of a tennis incident where, okay, let's say I'm a struggling tennis player and I'm ranked 150 or 200 or 300 in the world, and I'm making not that much money, but I've got to pay for travel. I got to pay for a coach. I got to pay for health, training, all that stuff you got to pay for. What keeps a tennis player who's ranked 300 in the world and from saying, okay, you know what? In set 2, game number 3, I am going to, and I'm returning serve, I'm not going to win a point that game. Like, I'm going to, kind of, let it go or, hit it out. It's something that would be very easy in tennis to manipulate where, okay, you're returning serve. A lot of times you're not breaking serve anyway, or you're not scoring a lot of points on other people's serve. So I'm going to tank that game.
Watch your opponent then double fault.
Right. That would be the problem, right? If that happens. But those are the things that I think about. It shocks me more that these millionaires that are as big time pitchers in Major League Baseball and big time names in the NBA, and we've seen it in the NFL as well, where it's these guys who are making millions that are doing it.
Terry Rozier,
Michael Jordan, cough.
Terry Rozier. Well, Michael Jordan stuff. I mean, he had so much money. I'm still convinced he wasn't doing anything that was. That he wasn't throwing games or anything like that. He was just too competitive. He just loses a lot of money on the golf course and betting in general. He'd go to Vegas and lose tons of money, but he had so much money. Guys like Terry Rozier, man, that's a weird one to wrap your mind around because he was making, I think he was worth close to $100 million. And how about Damon Jones, who's involved in both of these situations, right? He's involved in the NBA unders scandal, and he's involved with, which is definitely the more serious of the two, the rigged poker games by the mafia. But it's interesting, 4 of the 5 families are involved in this. There's one that's not. Are they the outcast of the 5 families now? I say that somewhat in jest. But Damon Jones, there's a lot of talk that he's lost all of his money, and that's why he's involved in this stuff, because he lost his millions that he made as an NBA player and as an NBA assistant coach.
So let's play this out. Okay, we're talking about we need a very severe punishment to keep people from doing this. Let's say it's up to us. We're the commissioners. What do you think the punishment should be if you're found guilty of any of this? Is it complete ban from the sport?
Yes.
Yes.
Not that as a commissioner you can determine this, but is this a jail time thing?
Depends on. I was going to get to that. It would have to be something egregious. Now, if you're a first-time offender and you were trying to manipulate unders, I don't think that'd be jail time.
Obviously, there's fraud involved.
If you're running tables for the mobs, maybe different.
Yes. Yeah, that's where it's going to get tricky. And who knows? Chauncey Billups says that he's innocent. I believe Damon Jones has come out and said the same thing. I know Terry Rozier said the same thing. I don't think he's in that much trouble.
So it's first offense. You're banned from the sport. No questions asked if you are found 100% guilty of it.
Definitely. Now, what about if it doesn't involve the sport? It's a rigged poker game. That could be jail time, but not banned from the NBA.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with that.
Because if Pete Rose was just like doing tax evasion and steroids, but didn't bet on baseball, he still would have gone to prison for the tax evasion. He didn't go to prison because he was betting on baseball. He went to prison because of tax evasion. And he never would have been banned from baseball if he didn't bet on baseball. So, I think this is going to be so interesting to see what happens, man. Like I said, two of my favorite things, sports gaming, including, betting on sports, playing poker with my friends, and watching documentaries on the mob. Worlds are colliding here. I can't wait for the documentary.
Worlds are colliding.
George
Costanza.
It's going to be that's exactly right. All right, up next is Best Bets. This is On the Money.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon, even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
A government shutdown affects everybody. It means missed paychecks for our troops. It means delays for critical services for ordinary Americans. And learn more about Congressman Mike Carey's bipartisan efforts to reopen our government. Call Congressman Carey's office at 614-927-6902 or visit carey.house.gov. Paid for with official funds from the office of Mike Carey.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. The Whiskey War spirits tell the story of prohibition in every sip. Whiskey War was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, the largest and most respected spirits competition in the world. Enjoy their naturally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Stop by your local liquor store or order a bottle direct to your door at sealbacks.com. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Here, care is where you need it. With over 350 primary care providers in Central Ohio, expert care is minutes away. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com. Here, heart care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at mountcarmelforyou.com.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment, facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2020 310 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Hey friends, good news for you. All your favorite NBA players, they're back. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the number one sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers, you bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, all paid out in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEFAN971. That's code THEFAN971. Bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass plus $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, Ohio only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Give the gift everyone wants. Fun in your own game room. Billiards Plus has gifts for everyone. Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, card tables, grills, and more. With professional delivery and installation, you'll beat the last-minute scramble. Reserve yours now. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Dave Biddle places over-unders on how many traffic lights he hits coming into the studio. This is On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Let's make this a big winning Sunday. It is Best Bets here on the Money. Let me give you a little information before we start giving out our best bets for the day. Sticking with NFL news. So, Bills have a big advantage today. They are -7 against Carolina. Josh Allen. And this was an interesting stat to me. Josh Allen is 8-0 straight up, 5-2-1 against the spread after a full bye week. I actually like the Bills a lot today. The Bills are -7 at Carolina. One that might make Browns fans a little happy. Teams on a 4 or more game straight up or against the spread win streak who did not make the playoffs the previous year, and that's the Patriots, are 1-14-1 against the spread since 2022. 1-14-1 against the spread since 2022. Let's go with the Jets Bengals stat for you. Teams who are 0-4 straight up or worse playing on the road are 57-35 against the spread in the last 20 years. That benefits the Jets at +5.5 against the Bengals. And this is, I know, one of your best bets for today, Dave, and this will actually go to speaking to why the Steelers are the right side on this one. So Steelers are 11-3 against the spread on any extended prep time coming off a straight-up loss since 2017. So when they lose, generally they are really good the next week against the spread, 11-3. All right, time.
And you parlay that with they are a home underdog in a primetime game.
A lot of good spots there for the Steelers,
I like
for
it.
sure.
So watch the Packers win by 14. I don't know what I'm saying. But I like the Steelers on the money line tonight.
Let me give you my little money line parlay today, guys. I like the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills over Carolina. Again, this is money line just to win the game. I'm going to take your Bengals. I think the Bengals get it done at home. I think it's a big opportunity for them. I like the Patriots. And so you put those three home teams. Actually, the Bills are on the road. But I also am adding in there the Philadelphia Eagles. So those four, you're getting +150 money line parlay right there. Dave, what do you like as your best bet for this
one
Sunday?
of them is Justin Fields going 50 or more rushing yards against the Bengals today. That just seems like a low number, 50 or more, and you're getting plus money, barely, +110, ESPN bet. Justin Fields 50 or more. If you want to get crazy, you can bump it up to 60 or 70. You go all the way up to Justin Fields 70 or more rushing yards, you're then getting 3-1 odds. So, but I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go 50 or more rushing yards for Jay Fields, +110. Again, man, I won't be surprised if he gets that in the first half. This is not a good Bengals defense, and we know Justin Fields can run the ball and will need to run the ball today. No Garrett Wilson. No Garrett Will and no Sauce Gardner for the Jets either. So arguably their two best players, certainly two of their best players, not playing today. But I'm glad Justin Fields is getting another shot. And here's one for you, kind of off the board here. Speaking of NBA betting, the Chicago Bulls, I've always loved them. They're going to be terrible this year. Okay, their roster is a disaster. They've started 2-0. Okay, which is nothing, right? That's like a baseball team that starts off 4-0. They play so many games, so it's still a small sample size. But now their over/under for wins is up to 40.5. They're not winning 41 games this year. They're going to have a losing record for sure. Take the under of Bulls 40.5 wins for the season because this is a bad team. They will prove to be bad. And don't let this 2-0 start fool you. They beat the Pistons barely at home. Then they won last night against the Magic, which surprised me. But the Bulls are going to be terrible. Take the under of 40.5 wins.
One more best bet out of me today, and it involves the Buckeyes. I like Ohio State minus 20 against Penn State. And here's my rationale. I don't think Penn State gets to double digits against Ohio State's defense. Okay. So let's say I'm giving Penn State 7 points in the game. That would mean I would just need the Ohio State offense to score 28. 4 touchdowns. I like Ohio State to score 4 or more touchdowns for sure. So I like Ohio State minus 20. By the way, the betting odds are actually moving a little bit already on that because it is now Ohio State minus 20.5. So it has started to tick up a little bit.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And you mentioned it too. I do like the Steelers money line tonight as well. And if you want to go point spread, Steelers 2.5 point dogs, I like that.
Couple college football lines out there that I wanted to release here. So Ohio State 20.5 over Penn State. Texas and Vanderbilt. Now, Texas needed a miracle comeback last night to beat a really bad Mississippi State team. Vanderbilt got a win, a big win over Missouri.
Where's the game at?
It's in Texas.
Nate already said, how is Texas favored over Vanderbilt? So I know Texas is favored, but let me guess how much. Can't be by much. I guess it could be because of name recognition. They're not predicting the score. They're trying to get, as much betting on both sides. I'll go Texas 2.5.
Yeah, Texas is 1.5 point favorite over Vanderbilt.
Basically a pick 'em.
Couple other lines. Georgia Tech is a 6.5 point favorite on the road at NC State. That doesn't seem like enough to me. I like this Georgia Tech team, and NC State has a horrendous defense. Miami is a 10.5 point favorite on the road at SMU. SMU just lost yesterday on a last-second field goal to Wake Forest. You've got Utah, a 6.5 point favorite over Cincinnati. Tennessee and Oklahoma. Tennessee is a 4 point favorite over Oklahoma. And then a couple other Big Ten games. You've got Indiana, a 3 touchdown favorite over Maryland, and USC, a 4.5 point favorite over Nebraska.
Now, I was going to ask you this like in joking fashion. The more I think about it, I don't know if I'm joking. So we have now NILs coming to high school sports in Ohio, right? We know that's the new thing. You're going to be able to. And Ohio was one of the last states holding out. There was only like 6. Now there's only going to be 5. You got to think that's going to be like universal. I was going to joke with you. Do you think we're headed for like legalized sports gambling at the high school level?
Oh, I hope
so. Not just like dads in the stands betting. You know what I mean? Like actual, you can get on your app and bet on high school sports.
Well, I told you Autumn made the middle school basketball team. Maybe I start betting on middle school basketball, huh?
I mean, don't act like I didn't bet on middle school tennis. I might have been running the racket. Actually, I might have been the linchpin.
In set 2, don't score any points on your first game returning serve.
Yes, or the mafia's coming after you. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scottie Vegas and Nate Puterbaugh, I am Dave Biddle. This has been On the Money.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy